Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Christopher and I have another Sims 4 speed build for you today. This time we are in the beautiful world of Brindleton Bay, my favorite land to build in. I think Brindleton Bay is just beautiful. Now this home is considered, I guess, a mid-century modern, I'm doing air quotes, mid-century modern home, and it is 135,303 simoleons on a 40 by 30 lot. Now, even though I do absolutely love Brindleton Bay, and I probably build and play in Brindleton Bay the most out of all the lands, even Sulani, which is super beautiful, Brindleton Bay has always been my favorite. Now, even though I've said that, I actually do end up moving this house, I end up moving this lot to Oasis Springs. And that is because as this build was progressing, it was sort of taking on a very deserty type vibe. It was taking on some very desert colors, oranges and reds as you see now, and I felt like it was just beginning to really fit Oasis Springs to a T with the natural landscaping and the surroundings that are already in Oasis Springs. So I do end up moving this lot shortly after to Oasis Springs. So when I was looking up mid-century modern homes, one thing stood out to me the most, and that was that most of them had some very vibrant pop-up color on the front door or on the deck or in the gardens or somewhere around the exterior. There was a very bright pop-up color. But as far as the actual build or the structure of a mid-century modern home, there was really nothing I could find that linked them all together. They were all just very different and unique. And so maybe that's what mid-century modern is something that's supposed to be unique and sort of just free built to the owner's wishes. And I'm guessing that that is what a mid-century modern home is just free for all artistic license on architecture, and I actually really liked it. Now with this home, I did sort of take some things that I've seen and put them together, and that was that centerpiece of the house that's jutting up, very bright, very eye-catching, and then these very sharp angled roofs. And I found that most of the houses did have that, or they were multi-level and were very different. And so now, oops, there you can see we've already moved over to Oasis Springs, and I'm working now on getting the landscaping and some plots done. But yeah, anyway, so the mid-century modern homes, I didn't find any real architectural commonality between them. It was more or less just whatever the builder wanted to do. So as you can see, like I said, we are now in Oasis Springs and we are putting up the fence. And one of my favorite things about this build is what I'm working on now, and I put a few of these throughout the build, and that's these little sort of desert garden plots. Instead of these bright flowers that I normally do, I'm doing cactuses and these desert plants, which I think are actually really beautiful and just ended up making this home really nice in the end. Now another thing I do like to do, as you can see, is line these garden plots with these rocks, and I think this just makes it look so much more natural and so much more beautiful. And I just love, especially watching it now over again in fast mode and seeing how quickly they go up. I wish I could build that fast in real life, actually build a lot this fast. I think I have this set on 950 times speed, so yeah, you can imagine we've gotten this far and it's only at 950 times the speed. But yeah, I was really glad to get to build this house simply because I got to use some things that I've never really used in my builds before. I don't typically build these sort of Midwestern type homes, I guess you would call it, like a home that you might see in, I don't know, Arizona or somewhere in the Midwest where there's a lot of desert land. But I did like to use some of these plants and stuff that I don't typically use, the cactuses and those other cactuses with the flowers on top. I really love that big kind of bowed out cactus plant. I think that's really beautiful. I've never seen one of those in real life, but maybe I should go to Arizona and just see what it's like there. I did go to Arizona State University online, if that counts. Anyways, guys, so it took me a long time to figure out how to do this landscaping at first because, like I said, I typically don't build Midwestern homes. I do more country style homes or homes that are set in sort of Brindleton Bay again. I think I guess I just love Brindleton Bay because it's more familiar to me, having a lot of water and forests and stuff. I'm just more familiar with those sort of landscapes. Even though I live in Louisiana, and I imagine that Brindleton Bay is probably set, or supposed to be inspired by what, the northeast area, maybe? I'm not sure. That's what I have in my mind. Oh, look, this is one of my favorite things about this build, and this is this cactus-shaped pool. How awesome is that? I was really proud of myself for doing that, and at first I was worried that it was going to be too small, at least the little hands of the cactus would be too small for this sim to actually swim around in, but actually you can. And I think it turned out super cute. I love little cactus pool. It's probably my favorite thing about this house, and I just think it's so unique and definitely something that you would probably see in like a 1950s or 60s home, because let's just face it, they were hippies and they were crazy and they did weird things like that with their house. They made cactus shaped pools and things. So I thought it was super cute and I was very proud of that, and I imagine that the family who lives here spends a lot of time out here by the cactus pool. And out here in general, I do end up putting like a swing set out here and a grill, and I think it's definitely the communal area of the home. But yes, the cactus pool was definitely, I think, the cherry on top. If I was in real estate and I was trying to sell this house, the cactus pool would probably be the selling point, I do believe. So yeah, now I'm adding in another one of these cactus flower beds, and I really like this one. I think this one in the backyard is my favorite because it has a whole bunch of different plants, a whole bunch of little cactuses that are really colorful. And I think one thing I like about it too is that it's not overly filled with things, and I imagine that since it is a desert style or Midwestern style home, it wouldn't be like very full of plants. Everything would kind of have its own space. It'd be kind of sparse, so to speak. But I think that this one in particular turned out really pretty in the end. And walking around like in first person mode on The Sims, which I didn't find out until recently that you can actually do, which I was really shocked about. I did not know, again, that we could go into first person mode, but it was so cool. But anyways, that backyard looks really, really pretty. Alright, so now we're moving inside, and I'm just kind of getting the floor plan together. You can see that I've already put up the bedrooms, and that other one, the smaller one there to the left, is going to be the bathroom. This upstairs, I imagine, would be the parents' room with their own bathroom. And you guys, right now we're about to start working on the kitchen, and let me tell you, I cut a bunch of this out because I don't know what a Midwestern home looks like on the inside. I don't know what elements a Midwestern home has, so I just had to go with my thought of it needs to be sort of earthy. So there are a lot of like earthy colors, I would say, except for in the bedrooms. I think it's much more colorful and unique in the bedrooms. For the kitchen anyway, it needed to be very earthy and very neutral, so I really like this stucco wallpaper, which I end up changing. Yep, there it is. I've already changed it to the brick, and I like that one much better, I will say. And the terracotta tiling I thought was very fitting for a home that was supposed to be kind of a desert theme. I was originally going to have like a separate dining room over there on the other side of the staircases, but I figured let's just go ahead and put the dining table into the kitchen because I feel like that looked a little more natural for this house. And I do imagine that this is a family of 4, so that's why I put the table up against the wall. I figured it would be fine. You could add 2 more chairs on the other side, I guess, if you wanted, but I figured that this is a couple with 2 children, and the 4 chairs for the dining room was plenty big. And I really love the way this kitchen turned out. I put these sort of sconces, these like yellow sconces on the wall, and I feel like that just really tied the whole kitchen together. Now, as far as like putting in clutter for the kitchen, I didn't add too much. I normally do go crazy with the clutter, especially in the kitchen, and I like to do those shelves. I thought about doing shelves over there above the trash can, but I decided against it, and so I didn't add in a whole bunch of clutter. I'm trying to put something in that space, but I think I just left it the way it is. Oh no, there I go. I'm moving it in. That's what I did. I moved in the kitchen to cover up that space. And now I'm just adding in like this little vase with this cactus in it, which I just thought turned out really nice. I do wish that we had more empty vases where we could do that sort of thing with, by placing in items, stacking items on top of one another. And I know that there are some that came in with the new cheat or the new release that they did on giving us some of these world items, but I have yet to really go in and explore those items too terribly much. There is a lot, and it is really fun, and I'm loving seeing what everyone is doing with those new free items. So now we're working on the living room, and I wanted to kind of get away from the tan or the brown or the neutral colors and do something a little more vibrant in the living room. So I decided to keep with that whole earthy tone, I would do sort of a green living room. So I add in this green sofa and a couple green side chairs. And because this is a family home, there had to be a gigantic TV somewhere where everyone could get together and sort of watch their favorite television shows at nighttime. And I feel like that's like the epitome of like family, at least in America, is getting together at nighttime and watching your favorite sitcoms together. At least that was my childhood. We did that a lot when we were growing up, and so I just wanted to kind of do that in this house as well and just see how that worked out whenever we do like a let's play in this home. Now, as I was going along, I did imagine that these parents that lived here probably worked from home, or at least one of them worked from home. So I add in this sort of work area over here with the bookshelf and the desk, and I end up moving that artwork over there and then adding that corkboard above the desk to make it look more like an official work area. So I figure like this would be like a no kids allowed work area. This is strictly for the parents to get there, do their work. And as I was working this one out, I was trying to think of a story for this family that lived here and for the parents, and I figured that one of them probably goes off and works in like the corporate world, while the other one stays home and is more of a freestyle artist or a freelanced artist. And I do add in sort of an art room over here to the side where I had originally intended there to be a den, and I guess it is still really a den, but it's filled with art stuff. And I figured that parent probably sells her art online. She's probably contracted out to do art. And I just thought that would be a really cool dynamic for the parents that live in this home. So now we're working on that den, and I do put in a treadmill with a TV over there because who the heck is going to work out without watching television at the same time? Not me. And then I found this basketball goal just in the middle of everything, and I was like, I need to add that outside because this is a little boy does live here, so that would probably be like a perfect place for him to play basketball with his parents. Now you can see that I'm making this the art room that I talked about by adding in the easel and this old shelving of old canvases, some paint buckets, and little accessories here that just really made this look kind of like it really kind of made it look like a messy room, but I kind of like that, because most artists are messy. At least in my experiences, most artists are kind of just organized and messy, but that's okay because you don't have to be all organized whenever you're an artist. So now we're working on the little boy's room, and I imagine that this would probably be a toddler's room. So we do have that bed I change out to an actual kid's bed because I'm pretty sure if you're playing with an actual toddler in The Sims, they may not be able to sleep in that bed. I may be wrong about that, but anyway, so I changed it to that for sure toddler bed, and now I'm just adding in a bunch of decorations that fit in with the whole little boy's room with some dinosaurs on the wall, and I think I put like another picture of an elephant up there, and like, oh, this little work table to make it look more like a kid's room. And I love that they have that like megaphone in there because I imagine that megaphone would probably really get on the parents' nerves, but I had to add it in there just because it was really funny to me. So now we're working on what I would think would be sort of a 15-year-old girl's room who is definitely obsessed with the color purple. And everything in her room is purple flowers on the wallpaper, purple curtains, purple bed. And I think my younger sister at one point in time actually had a very purple room. I am pretty sure that she had like a purple and lime green room at one point in time. So I was kind of thinking of her whenever I built this room. But yeah, this room is very bright and not anything that I normally would build in my homes. I think I've said this in my last video. I don't normally play Sims with children. I would really love to start doing a lot of things that I'm seeing where people have generation after generation of Sims and they've been playing them for generations long, and I think that is so awesome. I've just never had the patience or time to be able to do that. Now we're working on the parents' room, and when I came to this, I did not know what to do. We'd already done blue, we'd already done green, we'd already done kind of a neutral in the kitchen, and we'd already done purple. But I figured that the little girl probably likes purple because her mom likes purple. And so I was like, you know what, I'll do a more muted purple, a more adult bedroom. You know, it's not so vibrant, it's more muted, but it's still got some kind of character because, as I said, one of the Sims is probably an artist, so I felt like this sort of purple room really did fit. Then I got to thinking about it. I was like, you know, if I do create a family to live here, I will probably make the parents be like a lesbian couple, which I thought was really nice, and I would like to see that. I have made several households where there are a gay couple, but I haven't really made a lesbian couple. So I think I might have to do that. I might do a creative sim and actually create the family that lives here with 2 moms and their kids. I think that would be super adorable. I don't know about you, but I think that'd be super adorable. Alright guys, so that's about it for this video. It went by super fast, but I appreciate everyone who stuck around and watched it till the end. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do that. It would make me really happy. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. And until next time guys, bye!